Hey listeners! Okay, so this video is going to be about where I talk about the people I either don't like or don't really care for from Love is Blind season 2. Now, this video, you should subscribe to this person if you can. They literally explain the self-esteem, like Jared and Ayana's relationship, where the problem was Ayana was like low self-esteem and Jared did the bare minimum for her. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about Jared as number one for someone I either don't like or don't really care for. After this, I'm gonna make a video about people I hate from season 2 of Love is Blind. They're just toxic, bro. But I'm gonna talk about Jared first, okay? Okay, so it seems like everybody has a goddamn Instagram, okay? Every single cast member that I've looked up so far, which was just 3 people, have an Instagram. And I'm honestly shocked. Sometimes I would have to literally like go internet diving just to find some of these people. Anyway, I'm gonna show you who Jared is and what he looks like. Is this Jared's thing? Hold on. Okay, guys, so this is Jared. Jared, in my opinion, he's like extroverted. He's a party animal. You know, he smiles like a lot. He's pretty chill too. And he's fun. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's just, I do not like that he is my type. But anyway, so we start off the pods where basically we know his storyline. He has 2 girls he's interested in, Mallory and Ayana. Now with Ayana, he connected with Ayana through trauma. He had connected by sharing his story about how his friend tried to stab him to death. And there was nobody at the hospital except for him. None of his friends came, not his parents either. I don't think he told his parents. And honestly, shouldn't the hospital, like, that made me get questions. Like, shouldn't the hospital call, like, you know, your closest family? Or shouldn't they recommend, like, some nurses or doctors recommend, like, hey, is there anybody we can call right at this time to let them know? Like, don't hospitals do that? Or am I just, do hospitals do that? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But child, anyways, and he said at night too. You getting stabbed by your friend at night. He works at a club too. He is the security guard at a club. He has friends there, quote unquote friends. They're not really his friends. But yeah, he got stabbed at night by his friend, and no one was there at the hospital, which is just like a lot of red flags. Like Ayana should have ran once she heard that shit. And Ayana shared that her mom basically had to like give her away around a young age because her mom was going through some mental health issues. And she ran away. Well, no, she was kicked out when she was a teenager, and then she was adopted by her godparents around 18 years old. But anyways, they basically shared trauma, like, you know, and I was thinking in my head, just like, oh my gosh, he really must feel close to her in order to share this private info. You know, he really must feel like in tuned with her, and like, you know, he must really, and she was very compassionate when she heard his story about what happened. Like, you know, I was just like, oh yeah, you know, he seems like he's jiving with her, right? Once you see how he is with Mallory, it's a different fucking story. Like, when I tell you, he gushes over Mallory. He has a fun time with Mallory. He doesn't share much of any trauma with Mallory. It's kind of like they have, like, you know, that like conversation when they're about to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and he doesn't share any of like bad things that's happening. It's kind of the relationship where you don't share much of anything until like after a year y'all been together, then you start sharing some private shit. It's like that. Like, you know, that's what Mallory and his feel like. And then Ayana and his feels like a college relationship, in my opinion, to where, like, you know, they feel like they've been together for months and months on end. Then he finally sees her parents and his parents. She sees his. That's what it feels like, Ayana and Jared's relationship. If you hear that the air's in the background, it got stuffy in here. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward to when he proposes. Okay, so I did not expect him to propose to Mallory first and then Ayana. I really thought that, oh, since he had a like somewhat of a close connection and was willing to share some shit like that and all that, he was gonna actually consider proposing to Ayana. But when I think about it, I don't think he ever considered proposing to Ayana. Like, even as like a backup plan. Like, I don't think he ever considered it. Cause with Mallory, I think Mallory is Latina, or at least half Latina. He got her tacos. They had a little, like, you know, food date or whatever. And then he was just like, oh, how would you feel if I proposed to you? He didn't actually say, like, oh, yeah, would you marry me? He didn't get down on one knee. He just asked, like, how would you feel if I proposed to you? And she was, like, taken aback. She had a bit of hesitation, but at the same time, she was very upset because she was just like, dang. She was considering him and another person named Salvador. I think he's going to come up in a second. like later on in this Jared story. But she rejected him. He was upset. She was crying and he was crying. No, he was crying 3 times in the damn show. I was like, he cried inside the pods. He cried to his friends. He cried by himself in his room, I think. Like, I was just like, God damn. Like, yo, he was upset. Good Lord. He did all that effort for Mallory. He even found out what ring she wanted. It was a golden ring too. He found it out. Like, now with Ayanna, he didn't know none of this. No effort at all. You get tacos for the Latina, but you don't get no chicken or no like cake for the black woman. Like, what the fuck? He could have got her some cake or anything. You know, I think he got her some rolls, little ass rolls. You ain't get enough food. You don't think she like eating too? Like, the fuck? No, but like, anyways. Now, this is after he was bawling his eyes out over Mallory rejecting him. He asked Ayanna out, and I don't think he gets that he basically made her a fucking rebound. Like, in fact, he can't make her a rebound if she rejects him. No, but he had the intent of making her a rebound by asking her to marry him afterwards. And you could tell he did not want to. I don't think he had any plan to marry her at all. Like, legit, not even as like a backup plan. Like, he kind of is impulsively marrying her. He doesn't seem like he wants to marry her at all. He didn't try much at all, actually, and it irritates me because I'm over here just thinking, like, I think he let Ayanna know that she was the second option, and she was upset. It doesn't feel good to not be chosen first. It does not, and it shows that she was the second option because he barely tried when he proposed to Ayanna. He barely tried, and it irritates the fuck out of me. That's why I don't really like him very much. I don't really care for him either, because of the fact is that when they went to Mexico and they saw every other couple as well after they saw each other, like, they saw each other, it was cute one night, whatever. When Jared and Ayanna saw each other, it was okay. Getting to Mexico, Jared is eyeing Mallory. When I tell you, this tall ass dude, it's hard to miss his eyes because he's tall as fuck. He's tall. I think he's as tall as Shane is, okay? Or I think he's taller than Shane, right? You cannot miss his eyes at all. So, you know, you can see he's following Mallory around with his eyes. She is a very gorgeous woman too. Like, but Ayanna's gorgeous too. Like, it's not giving. And the thing about it is that he went up to Mallory himself. Mallory did not get up from her seat and say, hey, can I talk to you over here? Can we sit down? She didn't do all that shit. She was talking to somebody the fuck else. I think was she talking to Shake? I don't know who she was talking to. She was just vibing with everybody. She was just chilling. And then Jared whispered into the person she was talking to ear and then sat down. And he made a comment about her ring being like, he pointed to it and be like, that's not the ring you wanted, is it? Why the fuck are you talking about her ring? Like, dude, she rejected you for a reason. She did not want you. She wanted this other dude. She saw value in this other dude. She did not see much value in you, okay? She cried over him, so she did see some value in him, but she did not want you, okay? You were not her first option. Like, why does he not get that in his fucking head? Like, I can't. But y'all, anyways, the way he speaks to her, I would love to show you a video, but I feel like I'd be copyrighted because that would be like using some other person's, like, you know, video, and I don't want to do all that. So anyways, the way he looked at her was like the I love you eyes, like the I'm about to kiss you. That's that look before you kiss somebody type of fucking eyes. Like, I can't. He was like smiling extra too, kind of in that, like, you know, it's like he was eyeing his prey damn near. Like, you know, okay, that sounds bad. He wasn't. That's an intense way to explain it, but it kind of looked like how it was. Like, he was very much staring her dead in her eyes and face. Like, he was allured by her. Like, you know, she's a gorgeous woman, of course, but damn, dude, this was extra. He did not need to do all that. But child, anyways, they had a little bit of a talk. He seemed more interested than her. Like, if I'm gonna be honest with you, she was actually quoting how it was awkward, you know, and I was like, I'm so glad she said something like that. But then they were vibing a little bit too much, and I was just like, if it's really awkward, honey, you could get up and leave. But she didn't want to do all that. Now, I'm gonna just say a little bit about, like, the reunion. I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but it's revealed Ayanna didn't know what he had said, and Ayanna did not see all the effort he put into proposing to Mallory. She didn't know any of this. Like, at all, because they didn't show it to her. Like, that's the thing is. And Mallory didn't say anything. Like, she even went up to Mallory after Mallory was crying after he proposed to her, and Mallory wanted to be left alone. Like, Ayanna asked, do you want to be left alone? And then Mallory she nodded and shit, and then Ayanna left. Ayanna was going to comfort her. And Ayanna didn't know that how much effort Jared, her then husband, was putting in to proposing to Mallory. So that's fucked up. Anyway, back to Mexico. They slept together, Jared and Ayana. They were pretty chill. I liked a little bit of their dynamic, but then it was always like that mentioning of the second choice option. He always deadpan looked at her, and I don't know how to describe his look. It's kind of just like a dumbfounded, I don't know, mixed with an irritated expression. That's what it looked like to me. Like he genuinely looked like he either did not want to talk about it or he wanted to be like, girl, why are you still talking about this? Like he looked like he wanted to say some shit like that, every time she brought up the second choice option, because she does feel like second place. And to be honest with you, it's his fault. You making her feel like she is second option, bitch. Like, but that's the thing is, the issue about, sorry, I paused. I don't know why I paused for a second. What I'm realizing is the issue with this is that she took him in. Like she said yes. She shouldn't have said yes. And it's some realization that some people mention, like, oh my gosh, that like low self-esteem. They mention that she has low self-esteem or a little bit of lower self-esteem and stuff like that. I don't know if she said it herself. I don't want to be calling her saying she has low self-esteem, because her like saying yes to Jared and stuff like that, I was over here just thinking like, I don't look at her for fault with that, because I'm over here just thinking like, Danielle said yes to Nick and she like is insecure and has every problem with Nick, like, and I'm just like, they're arguing all the fucking time, but she said yes. So I'm over here just thinking like, there's other couples who chose their significant others and like they had problems with them, so I'm not gonna blame Ayana like she's the only one. Like, no. Fast forward Mexico, I'm sad that I am, because I love the Mexico one. This season they jibed really well as friends. Like everybody jibed really fucking well together. Okay, only a select few people didn't really jibe too well with the rest of the group, but everybody did. It was so fun. But anyways, I should make a whole video about Mexico. I'm not gonna do that shit. I'm not gonna do that. But anyways, I want to though. But anyways, we fast forward to when she moves to his apartment. I think this is all from memory, by the way, and she sees that he has gifts from his ex that he still keeps. She sees that his bed isn't, I don't think his bed is all the way together. I don't know how to explain it. You know that frame? It's kind of like, I don't know if the mattress is on the floor or what, but something about his bed was like off. He still keeps gifts from his ex. He didn't see it as weird though, which strikes me as weird, because why do you still keep like, it's like a jewelry holder. He still keeps a whole jewelry holder from his ex. He didn't specify which ex, if it's a recent ex or not. No, it's just one of his exes. And I'm just like, you still keep a gift from one of your exes? What the hell? Now, do I think it's the weirdest thing in the world? Hell, the fuck yeah. Not the weirdest thing in the world. But it weirded me out because he was looking at her like she was weird for calling him out about it. Like, why are you looking at her like she's weird? Like, dude, you're the one with your ex's stuff. Like, I get that your ex's gift. But then she brings up the second option thing again. And again, he gave her that deadpan, frozen, confused / with irritated look. And then he starts saying something. I thought it was him collecting his thoughts at first, but no, he genuinely looked confused and irritated at the same time. And I was just like, that is a weird look. Like, yeah, he handsome, but that's a weird ass look to have in your face. I'm just saying. Fast forwarding to meet the parents. Okay, so I think I forgot to mention that in the pods, his dad, he basically grew up in a strict household. His dad's a minister, all that. His dad, he looks like a twin to his father. I on God, bro. His dad and him has the same exact face. Like, I can't. And so his dad wanted to be a minister at their wedding. And I was just like, that is so fucking sweet. And the way they, like, looked at and talked to Ayana, they really liked Ayana. And I was just like, that is nice. Like, they could tell she was a good fucking person. And I love that. I love that so much. Now, with him meeting Ayana's parents, it was a bit awkward how he looked like he was walking on fucking eggshells and shit like that. Not around them, but like when they all sat down, he looked uncomfortable. If I would just be honest with you, he looked uncomfortable to me. And she mentioned her parents are blunt. Like, they are straightforward. She's also blunt and straightforward as well. She basically tells them all that she wants. Like, she doesn't sugarcoat shit. So that's what I love about her. And her mom's the same damn way. So I'm just like, she was asking some good questions. Her mom doesn't like to do the elephant in the room type shit, all that. But I'm gonna wait for after the altar to mention that, because I just watched it yesterday. Going to their wedding, they looked gorgeous as fuck together. The way they were like jiving real nice and stuff like that. I was over here just thinking, okay, they may be all right. They look like they had a lot of fun there. looked cool. But it's like every time I see him, he looks like he's always holding back. And I don't know what the fuck he's holding back. You know, I don't know what he's holding back. Maybe it's because of the fact that, yeah, Ayanna was his second option. And after he saw Mallory, it's kind of like he's always been having this confused, irritated look. And it feels like he's holding back on some shit. It's like he looks like chill and satiated, but he doesn't look exactly happy. Like, you know, he kind of looks like he's a little bit calm or at peace, but he doesn't look happy at the same time. Like, if you're really with somebody you love and really care for and really want to just have a fun time with, you would look calm and chillful and, like, you know, relaxed around them, but you would also look fucking happy with that, right? He didn't look happy when he was around Ayanna, okay? He didn't, and that's what weirded me out. He always looks like he's holding something back. Their wedding was nice though. They look good, bro. His father looks so proud. It made me want to cry. I can't. And the way they were joking with each other, I was just like, this is a big thing. Like, this is a big thing. We get to the reunion and Shake is just irritating every fucking body. The reason why I mentioned Shake in this when I'm talking about Jared is that Jared is a chill dude. Like, he is calm. He loves to party. He loves a good fucking time, okay? He's smart enough to understand when a situation's serious, and, like, you know, he will, like, he's very good at his words as well. So with this, Shake annoyed everyone so much that even Jared spoke to this dude in a serious ass manner. Jared don't normally do that shit. So I was just like, damn, Shake is rattling everybody's nerves. Hey. But yeah, it's like, then it showed that Jared actually lied to Ayanna. He, one, did not specify what all he did for Mallory, and two, he did not tell Ayanna what he said to Mallory. I think Ayanna asked what he said to Mallory. He said he didn't say much, I think, and he didn't specify with it. He lied to Ayanna, and it sucks because she said it hurts. And she looked dead ass at him. Ayanna said it hurts and looked dead in his face and stuff like that. And his face looked like he didn't give a shit. He had the same expression, man. I was just like, oh gosh, man. Like, it hurt me to see how much effort he put into, like, his feelings for Mallory and did not put barely any effort into Ayanna. Now, fast forward to Life After the Altar. It has showed and they have revealed that Ayanna moved out. She moved out. They were still together, still married, but she moved out because his ass kept being at the club all fucking night and coming at like 7 or 8 in the fucking morning. You know, he is a security guard at a club, so it's understandable coming back late. However, I think that the time he comes back, he can get back realistically at 3 a.m. after his job. Like, his job ends at that, like, you know, that time. But he stays on purpose because his friends convince him to, you know, party and do the shots. Like, he even mentions, like, in this episode that he's a party animal. Not this episode, there's 3 episodes. He's a party animal. His friends convince him, like, hey, one more shot. He's kind of like the life of the party for his friends. And he does that for his friends when he was a single dude, right? Now, the issue with this is Ayanna would be staying up all night to wait for this dude. Like, she would legit be terrified because, like I said, he mentioned that his friend stabbed him, bro. He had a friend who stabbed him at night, bro. And he works at a club. I think he's been working at this club for years. He had a friend stab him at night and nobody was there at the hospital. So she was up there probably all night fearing for what happened to him. And he's not coming back home. And then to find out that he was actually just out partying and drinking and having a good ass time and not telling her that he was going to be staying later. I don't think he ever even informed her that he was going to be staying later. I don't think he ever even tried to inform her. And it just makes me sick. Like, why, dude? Why? What the fuck? You're not going to attempt? Like, come on, man. So she moved out and whatnot. And then at the party they were having for Natalie's birthday, you know, before the birthday party actually happened, they were pretty chill. Like, I was over here, I didn't even realize that she moved out because they acted kind of normal, but they acted like they had gotten into a huge fight the night before and were trying to, like, heal from the fight. Like, that's what they were acting like the whole fucking time. Like, they were both holding something back. And they had a little bit of a talk, all that. You kind of see them together oftenly during this whole thing too, you know, and it's kind of like, it makes me upset because what the fuck, man. After the party was chill, he stole one of their jars. No, he didn't steal their fucking jars, man. He asked, but he was holding that jar the whole time like he had already decided that he wanted it. And I was just like, this is so funny, bro. Like, that's funny as fuck. And he asked, and he was just like, shit, okay. Once they said yes, I was just like, I can't even. In his do-rag, I love it. But in his glasses, too. He's wearing a do-rag and glasses, I think. He wears those glasses oftenly. Well, more often than I thought he would. I thought he just wore it for that one scene in it. But anyways, They meet with his parents. His parents and her parents have never really met. Like they met at the wedding, but not really like enough to like have a conversation with each other or just chill and have dinner with each other or whatnot. Now this was an intervention. This was not a family dinner. This was an intervention, okay? Because her mom had known about it, and she even told him while they were like playing basketball with each other. She told him that her mom already knew that she moved out. Like her mom already knew that she was staying up late at 7 a.m. wondering where the hell he was at, because Ayana was calling her mom worried and crying, like all that shit, and it was breaking Ayana's mother, like, bro. So it was an intervention. Now I'm going back to like when I mentioned that her mother is very blunt, and her mother literally says like, no, I don't want to be, I'm not the type of person to like, oh, there's an elephant in the room. No, I will address the elephant in the room. So let's start. What actually happened? Like she dead ass like started this. I think the moment she sat down, she was on that, and I was just like, I love that, man. And then he mentions it. He's a tough dude. If I'm being honest, he's a tough dude, and he knew the right things to say, because like I told you, he's really good with words. Because bitch, in that moment I'd be sweating fucking bullets. Not saying he wasn't sweating or anything, but he had this kind of like serious like face and whatnot, and he was saying the right words to it, explaining the situation. And like after like explaining it too, even his father spoke up for it too. Like, not saying that I didn't think his father would, but I think he parties and does all this because he had a strict household and to get away from his parents. Because why would his parents not be at the hospital with him? Why is he all alone? Why wouldn't his immediate family be there, like at the hospital? Like, even if it was late and he was there all night, he never mentions that, oh, they came the next day. Like, I don't know. Like, that's so weird. So I must think that he's maybe not as close with his family as talking with. So his father talks about like, oh, there's a quote I think his dad says. I forgot about it. Oh, I remember. He said, make your friends miss you. Because Jared had mentioned that his friends were like, oh, another drink, another drink. And his father was just like, yeah, they're going to ask you for another drink because they're jealous of what you have. You have what most people yearn for. So after all them drinks, tell them no, like, make your friends miss you. Like, and I was just like, that is so cool of advice, bro. Oh, God, you better listen to him. He ain't listening to him. And then after they were basically, like grilling Jared, like her mom was just like, oh yeah, Ayana, okay, we're not playing on beat up Jared anymore. We gotta be on you now. And she was like letting Ayana know. I forgot what she let Ayana know for a second. She was talking to Ayana. Ayana was like sitting in her seat. She was like slumping down. I was just like, yeah, Ayana, you can't just beat up on Jared. We gotta talk a little bit about you too. She said, problems go both ways. This is two people in a relationship. Two people have some fault, one more than the other, but the other has a little bit too. And she, like her mom was mentioning that. Afterwards, when they were leaving the restaurant, Ayana's mom wanted to speak with Jared, and she was mentioning how, like, Ayana basically have had people leave her in her life, tell her one thing and then ultimately leave her life, like, promise her shit and then leave. Like, that's the thing. They always abandon her, and that's the thing is, like, her mom, she was crying and everything. She was, like, upset because she was, like, it makes her, like, not only want to fight people, it just makes her want to protect Ayana. And also, his eyes were watering to me in that situation, but I don't know. Maybe it was just the lighting or whatnot. But he, like, I think he low-key was promising that shit. He didn't say, oh, I promise, but it sounded like more of a promise rather than an actual act of him doing it. Anyways, this fast forwards to him and her. She moves back in. Ayana moves back in. He actually prepares dinner. He even gives her a whole cake. And it makes me think that the production did that shit, if I'll be honest with you. I don't think he actually bought that shit. No, I'm being an asshole. He probably did. He probably really did. And then she was, again, explaining, like, what she wanted. And he was just like, I'm just going to have to step up and I'm going to do all that. Okay, so since we're actually after the altar, I have some lasting thoughts when it comes to Jared, okay? With Jared, he treated Ayana like a second option. He basically trauma dumped on her when they were in the pods, and it irritates me because there were some videos mentioning how, like, when it comes to Black women, how he described her to her parents as to why he loves her is that she's so strong. And I see why Black women nowadays, some Black women, they don't like being called strong anymore, because honestly, when you describe it something like that, he never mentions her compassion. I don't think he ever mentioned that she's very compassionate. Okay, I don't think he mentions her soft qualities. He mentioned that she's a very strong woman. She's been through a lot. And yeah, duh, she's been through a lot. We all know that. But the issue is, well, y'all probably don't know. Y'all probably don't watch the show. I'm sorry, but I'm talking about like for the fans who have watched it, for the people who have watched it. Like, yeah, she has been through a lot. But the thing is, why don't you mention the qualities that make her sweet and kind, compassionate? Very blunt. He doesn't mention shit like that, and it irritates me because I'm over here just thinking like she's a lot more than just a strong Black woman who you can dump your trauma on. Like, she's so much more than that. You don't do any of this shit with Mallory. He didn't do any of that with Mallory. He had laughs, a good conversation with Mallory. Meanwhile, he having like this trauma dumping session with fucking Ayana and stuff like that. It's just like, bro, you don't reserve the fun and good times for you and Ayana. You don't. You did that for Mallory. And it's annoying. Like, that's the thing that annoyed the fuck out of me. Like, you didn't give your all to Ayana, and I know she's your second option, but damn, did you even like her much at all? Like, it's just basically, did he even like her at all? Like, shit, Where's the effort for Ayana? Like, come on, man. She basically explained to him she wanted maturity. She wanted someone who can be responsible, someone who will come back home to her, someone who gives a fuck enough to listen to her, She wants someone like that. And the issue was that he came into this thing as a single man, a party animal. He wanted someone like him, basically. He did not want someone like Ayana, because someone like Ayana is too damn grown for him. If I'm going to just be great and honest with you, too damn grown for him. He doesn't want a grown woman. He doesn't want a dependable, grown-ass woman who he can love for the rest of his life. He don't want that shit. He wants a party animal that's just like him, someone he can screw whenever he wants to, and someone he can bring to his friends so that they can party and drink shots all night long. He don't want any of this other stuff. He wants this stuff. And it's like, dude, come on now. Like, they say opposites attract. Ayana is literally his opposite, though. And, like, I would say Mallory, too. But him and Mallory are so much alike. That's the thing, is that's what attracted him to her, is that they were alike. Ayana was too serious for him. He did not want a serious woman. He wanted a woman he could go out to the club with every fucking night, be, drinking, partying, all that type of stuff, screw around with, all that. He didn't want a serious commitment. He didn't. He really did not. Like, that's the thing is. He should have said that truth. Like, he said he wanted somebody to marry. No. You wanted to try this experiment. You did not want a serious relationship, dude. You didn't. You didn't. At all. And it's sad when both of your parents, even his damn father and his mama, were literally telling him in unison with her parents, like, you need to step it up and stop doing what you're doing. Like, you literally you're breaking her fucking heart. And the fact, I feel like if it were Mallory instead of Ayana, he would have gave a shit more. And it's sad to fucking say that. You want to, like, basically use the Black woman for all your issues and all this shit that's going on, too. Because I realized Ayana knows more about him than Mallory did. She knows so much more about him than Mallory did. And I'm talking about, like, even back when they were in the pods, I can't think of one thing Mallory knew about this man that was very personal to him versus Ayana. Ayana knew he had a strict-ass asshole. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Household. I did not mean asshole. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I did not mean asshole anymore. I meant household. I don't know why. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. He had a strict-ass household. He basically was stabbed by his friend, of course, He's the party animal. He's like for that, all that stuff. He's basically felt like he's been trapped when he was younger and he wanted to be set free, all that stuff. Like, he wanted to basically have a good time. He knows he's extroverted. She knows a lot more about him than Mallory does. I don't think Mallory knows much about him at all. She may know some of his interests, but Ayana knew about the deeper things because he was willing to tell her. And that's what made me think he was going to propose to her first, but he was not. And it's annoying. He didn't even feel the need to tell her the truth the first night out. Like, Ayana was literally asking you, like, what did you say to Mallory? He didn't even feel like telling her the fucking truth. And it's like, dude, you do not value Ayana as your wife at all. You value Mallory as your wife. You don't value this serious, very compassionate, committed woman that you chose to marry as your second option. You don't value her. You value Mallory, because she's cute and she's Latina and she sounds like she likes having a good time down there all the time. That's what you valued, and it irritates me because, you like this cute Latina who, like, loves to party, but what happens if you get stabbed again and ends up in the hospital? Do you think she's going to be there? Like, immediately get there? You think she's actually going to do that shit? Ayana would do that shit. Do you think Mallory would do that shit? Like, that was annoying. Like, ugh, I can't. That's why I don't like this man. That's why I don't like this man. They got divorced already because Ayana realized her worth. And I mentioned low self-esteem thing is because many people mention it as well. And I don't like to say she has low self-esteem. However, she did accept a man who literally admitted to having her as a second option, basically a rebound, right? She took him back, moved back in with him, even though he had basically, like, just exhausted all choices, like, basically exhausted the fuck out of her too, where she was just like, I can't do this anymore. She left because she couldn't do this anymore, and he still continued doing what he was doing. And he's out all night, right? I mentioned earlier how his friend a year ago stabbed him, right? One of his friends. No friend came to the hospital, right? And none of his family came to the hospital, right? And he talks about he's out all night with his friends. What friends? What friends? Your friends were not there in the hospital with you last year. Are these new friends? Can you even call them friends? You met them at the club? Like, are these actually your friends? Like, what friends do you got? Because you ain't got no fucking friends, if I'm gonna just be dead ass for real. He ain't got no fucking friends. And by friends, I mean real friends. Like, he ain't got no pride and true friends who will tell them the fucking truth about himself. He doesn't have that. He has friends that go out and party and not delve too much into his personal life. That's what he has. He has acquaintances, if I'm being honest with you. Or, like, the very lowest of level of friends. That's what he has. And he was willing to leave this woman up all night for them. For them. So it makes me think, low-key, like, you're out all night. What are you, just hanging out at a friend's place? And I don't want to delve into like, oh, he was cheating part. I don't want to just think that every man is cheating when they do something wrong in a relationship. Like, I don't want to just automatically think it's cheating. However, it's starting to fall in line a little bit with fucking cheating, if I'm being honest with you. It's starting to fall in line with cheating. But yeah, this is all on Jared. I didn't realize he did some podcasts about him, like, his divorce and whatnot. I'm probably going to listen to a few of them if I have any more words. I don't really have that many words on it. And, oh yeah, Ayana says it perfectly. I can't describe it. I'm going to go on YouTube and show y'all the channel that has her podcast with the woman, with this other lady. I forgot her name. Oh my gosh, because I didn't watch it in full. But Ayana mentioned she sees him as a good person, but she doesn't see the value in him as a partner. And that's strong as fuck to say, like, because it's the truth, You can't even commit to her. It feels like he would have committed more if she was Mallory and not Ayana. And it hurts to say that because it feels like the truth. But anyways. Okay, guys, so this is the channel, Diary of an Empath podcast. Y'all should watch it. She basically, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. I probably sound raspy. I'm not sick or anything. I don't know why my throat's acting like this. I just drunk orange juice too, by the way, so I think that's probably why. The acid. But anyways, yes, she said it perfectly. Like, he's a good person. He's a good person, but there's no value in him as a partner as of right now, which kind of makes me hope that in the future, when he wants to be more serious and wants to have more commitment in his life, he comes back to her. Like, that's my hope. I just really, I kind of want them to be together, but I want him to actually put more effort. And by more, I mean, I want him to see her as a partner. I don't think he ever saw her as a wife. Like I said, they remind me of like a college relationship. If I'm being honest, I should say a high school relationship more than a college relationship. But they gave me that college relationship vibe, But it's just like, it's like he didn't really want her as a wife. He wanted her as a girlfriend, yes, not as a wife. Because for some reason he didn't see value in coming back home to her. Like, he didn't want to come back home to her at a reasonable fucking time. Like, you don't even want to come back home to your lady at 3 a.m. Your sleep schedule is fucked. Like, your sleep schedule is my sleep schedule. Like, come on now. That's not good. That's not good. I need to do better. But yes, you don't really want to come back to her at a reasonable time. Like, you don't ever miss her. Like, bro, come on now. She up here late and stuff like that. Y'all could stay up together, be eating some good ass food together. You could be talking about your party and shit. Like, she's an introvert, yeah, but it doesn't mean she doesn't want to hear about what good stuff happened to him. Like, but he don't want to do that. And I'm just like, why not? Like, that seems like a good fucking feeling, to come back home to somebody who truly just wants to be around you and enjoys your presence so much to where they're willing to, like, wait for you and hear you out on everything. And I'm just like, she was willing to do that. And it's like, he threw it away. Like, come on now. Now, this is not to say she was picture perfect. I mean, you know, she stayed with him, and I don't think she has abandonment issues, but how some described it as abandonment issues is like understandable. It explains as to why she still stayed with him even after he kept leaving all night and then coming back when he wanted to come back and not when she like requested for him to come back. Like, you know, so it makes me think like, yeah, she may have a level of low self-esteem and stuff like that, because no, it would have been automatic no if you find out that you're a second option. Like, that doesn't feel good. Then it's always going to ride on you that you were the second option. He's never going to treat you with like top tier priority because he never saw you as top tier priority. So it's like, yeah, it's sad. Like, you know, I was waiting for him to treat her like she's top tier priority, but he never did. The woman moved out and he was just like, yeah, I understand. Not like beating on her door, like calling up her folks, wondering where the fuck she's at. Because it would have mentioned in the show if he did. He would have said he did. He ain't say he did all that. So it makes me think like, you don't really care for her like Taka with. And it sucks ass. Like, come on, man. But to close the chapters in the relationship, one thing I really do have to say is that I hate the amount of people who hate on Ayana for divorcing Jared. She had every right to divorce him. If I'm gonna be honest with you, she shouldn't have said yes to him. He ain't never treated her like she was number one. Like, I know she was second option to be married, but he didn't even attempt in his like proposal with her. He didn't get her no food. He got her what? I think he got her a rose, but I think that was another person. I don't even remember what he got her, right? Which lets you know he ain't really bring her nothing memorable, like, at all. He ain't do shit for her when he was proposing to her. So it's like, dude, come on now. You know, even when he sits at the reunion, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just, he does not ever feel like he's putting his all into her. Okay? He does not. When she left, I doubt he even cried. Like, I really honestly doubt that when she left during that time, like, moved out, I doubt he even shed a tear. Like, it feels like he does not. He said, oh, he even mentioned, like, oh, yeah, you know, I know it may seem like I don't care. And it's like, I thought in my head, just like, seem, you don't care. Like, that's the thing. It don't seem like you don't care. You actually don't care. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know, nah, you wanted a girlfriend. You did not see her as a wife. You did not see the value of Ayana as a wife. Bro, like, come on now. Don't act like we crazy for like thinking you don't care. You don't care. So it's like, come on now. But yeah, anyways, now I'm gonna talk about Danielle and Nick together because this video was long. I didn't realize I could talk 37 minutes about just one person. But I did. There was just so much to unpack in theirs. Now with Danielle and Nick, there's not a lot to pack in theirs. I didn't really like their relationships, like talking with. They annoyed me a lot of times. There was people that annoyed me way more. I like them more than any other pairing. Don't get me wrong there. They just annoyed me though. So this is Danielle. She's very gorgeous. She looks just like her mom. I mean, y'all don't know what her mama looked like. I may show y'all, but I don't feel like it at the same time. So I don't really know. And this is her Instagram. Very lovely, this Miss Ma'am. She loves fun. Oh my gosh, hold on. Oh my gosh, is this a picture of all of them together? Ah, it is. Oh my gosh, we have Natalie, we have Danielle, we have Deepti, and we have Ayana. I adore this so much. Oh my gosh, yes. No, this makes me so happy. This was August. I'm in love. I adore this. I adore this so much. Anyway, we're going back to we're gonna go show you Nick. There goes Nick. This may not be the best photo, but this is of them together with their dog and smile. So anyways, child, what I'm gonna explain to why I don't really like their relationship was because of what happened during Mexico. Now with them, the pods, I barely remember them in the pods. I'm not even gonna lie, I really did not focus on them that much in the damn pods, okay? Because I was thinking their relationship was gonna be like how it was in the first season with the pairing. Both their names started with a K. They were very boring, and I thought Danielle and Nick were gonna be very boring. Instead, they became annoying. So anyways, during the Mexico trip, something happened with Danielle. She got a stomach bug. She was throwing up. She was on the ground too, by the way. She was on the ground eating a piece of bread after she had just thrown up and stuff like that. It was worrying. She had towels as a pillow on the floor and stuff. She was right next to the toilet. It was very shocking. He filmed her and all that. I was thinking in my head just like, no, are you gonna stay with her? And he did not stay with her. He did a little joke being like, oh yeah, we broke up and then everybody, he was just like, just kidding, everybody. He had a good ass time out there, and I was thinking in my head, just like, I'm glad he had a good ass time. What was weird though was that once he came back, Danielle was just like, oh yeah, I saw you. She like came outside after crying for what seemed to be 3 hours. I was just like, she admitted she cried for 3 hours in the closet because he was not there by her side during that. And I was just like, that's upsetting, right? But I actually thought that that was the main reason as to why she was upset. No, it was because she thought that he was really honestly mooching and hollering at the other girls. And I was like, that's why you're upset? But then that's not stupid for her to be upset about. Like, it's not stupid at all. Honestly, who wouldn't be upset if you've been throwing up for like a long ass time and your partner who you're gonna marry is not like right beside you for all of 3 hours that event was going on? I didn't know that they were outside talking with each other at night for 3 hours, but they were. She was there in her room for 3 fucking hours as he was mixing and mingling. And she was very annoyed by that. The problem with their communication is that they argue. They can't talk in reasonable voices and stuff like that. He was getting annoyed that she was upset, and she was telling him the problem, but then he was also getting like very much annoyed too. And it makes me think it ties into his family. With him and his family, they're close, but at the same time he mentioned that he felt like they didn't really like care about him. Like they didn't really care for his existence a bit. Like, and it makes me think like he must have butted heads with his family a lot or something like that, or just something. There must be friction there or whatnot. So when they were arguing or when she was complaining, he had a little bit of an issue with that. They had a whole argument. He walked out, then they went outside, they went back inside, argued again, then they went back out. I was just like, oh my fucking gosh, don't be together. Then they fixed it afterwards the next day. Once they had moved in with each other, it was pretty much calm and whatnot. And then I realized my problem with Danielle. She is insecure in that type of way to where she really honestly expects the worst. So she just basically calls it out before the worst could actually happen. And that's not good. Like, when he would be speaking and stuff like that, they had met their family, like, some days afterwards, he had met her parents. He had mentioned something about his family and friends, and she saw it as a little insensitive because you had just came from her parents, and like, oh my gosh, like, why aren't you talking about how good of a time you had with the parents? Why are you talking about your family? And she saw that as selfish. And he was mentioning, like, they were calling him and texting him, his family was, his friends were, and he sometimes feel like they don't care much about him. So when they were that day, he was just like, focused on that. He was missing his family, right? And she thought that as selfish. Honestly, both sides were like a little bit valid to me in this situation, but she was bringing it to a level where I was just like, this could end easily. He had apologized about 3 to 4 times. I was just like, damn, girl, and you still bringing it the fuck up. Like, it was annoying the shit out of me. I was just like, okay, he apologized. Not only that, he explained why he was like, upset. And I was just like, or why he was worried. Like, he even explained this shit. And y'all are still arguing outside. And, he was mentioning, like, you feeling like this way is bullshit. And she was just like, whoa, okay, you're literally talking to me like this. I was just like, oh my gosh, bro, you're not compatible. Break the fuck up. Like, damn. But anyways, they fast forward to when they went back to their own apartment. And it was the next day, I think. And they were talking about it. He was actually fully explaining it in a more calm manner about why exactly he was worried. This is when he mentions that he feels like with his family, like sometimes he has a feeling that, like, they don't care, they don't know he exists or something like that. He had that feeling. So when he had gotten all those texts, it really worried him, or it really made him think about them and whatnot. And so I was just like, oh, okay, cool, gravy. Now she met his parents. You could tell she was awkward, but she's a good talker. Like, they got some really good talkers right here and there. Their awkwardness doesn't stop them from actually, like, saying how they feel or what they wanted to say. She was honest with how she felt about him and what she wanted to. She talked a little bit of a while, if I'm gonna be honest with you, but that's what I like, is that, she didn't just stay quiet and look like dumb or something like that. She didn't look dumbfounded or anything. Like no, she actually was having a good conversation with them. And the family was just like, oh yeah, she seems nice, but is this someone that he's gonna stay with for a while? And I was just like, oh yeah, I was thinking that. And there's a little bit more detail though. His mom, Nick's mom, was divorced as well, and she was divorced for a while, I think. Like, when he was 5, I think, or am I mixing up the people? Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, this video is gonna be an hour long. But yeah. Now they had another argument, and this is all from memory. I don't remember what the argument was about, but I do remember being so annoyed to where I had to skip their part because I was just like, I'm fucking tired of this relationship. Can y'all break the fuck up? Relationships have arguments and they have issues, but y'all have argued 3 times. The fact that I can count how many times y'all argue is annoying as fuck to me, okay? Damn, like, you're getting to know each other, and I can see you butting heads on certain things, but it's like y'all did not have any conversation in the pods about how y'all felt about certain things. Like, come on now. She's insecure and Nick's a little uptight. Like, that's the thing. Y'all didn't know this in the pods? Y'all didn't talk about this? Even his family mentions that he's a little bit picky of his food or picky of certain things being arranged around. He's fucking uptight about shit, okay? He's uptight, she's insecure. That's the damn relationship. It was annoying as hell to sit through and watch, if I'm gonna just be straight up honest with you. They're both sweet ass individuals. If I'm gonna be honest with you, they're really good at talking with other people and stuff like that. Like, really good with jiving with other people. They can be at any like damn near any event. If I'm gonna be honest with you, they are great party planners. They're well organized. That's one thing I love about them, at least, was that they were really good working together when they both wanted the same thing. Like, when they both wanted the same thing. Him, when he saw her apartment was very clean and neat, though her closets were another thing. She had a lot of clothes, like a lot of fucking clothes, which makes me happy, but also makes me think that some of them could have gone to Goodwill, if I'm gonna be honest with you, because it seemed like outfits from when she was like, it didn't show the outfits, but it's probably outfits from when she was a teen to all the way up, and I was just like, God damn. I was just like, Jesus, girl. Woo, baby, it looks like my closet. Shit, from when I lived with my mama still. Like, that's a lot of clothes. But yes, hey, at least she gets a new outfit every day. I mean, shit, hey. But it's all still clean, too, yeah. But anyways, she had a hot dog outfit and a corn outfit, and he was weirded the fuck out. She also had these balloon guitar things. Her table was broken because she stood up on it with her friends and was mixing and driving. He was mentioning that. It was kind of like, yeah, he was judging her. And to be honest with you, I didn't see that as like a bad thing. Like, her having broken table, her having like fun things in her apartment, I saw it as like, oh, this girl really likes to have a good time. I didn't see that as bad, and some people may see that as immature. I don't know what age she is. If she's like 27, then I can still understand her having some of that stuff in her fucking house, because one, she brings out friends a lot, she has fun with her friends a lot, like, her inner child is still in there, like, she still is having a good ass time, so I couldn't see it as the weirdest thing that she still keeps on costumes. And when I was just like, that's weird that he has that big of an issue about it. I was just like, what? She has a personality. Like, bro, it made me think, like, she has a fucking personality. Wouldn't you want that? Like, now if she was even more immature, then yeah, that's a big ass issue. But no, it wasn't. But she is insecure. She's not immature, she's more insecure, and she expects the worst, so she's gonna call out the worst before the worst actually is said. And then she finds out he wasn't actually gonna say any of that shit. So I'm just like, this is annoying. But yes, anyway, they divorced. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I said it like that. Oh yeah, they divorced. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. She had filed for divorce. I thought he was going to file for divorce because he's uptight and she was insecure, and they had a lot of arguments that butted heads with that, and I thought he was going to get tired of, like, arguing with her and divorce her. No, she divorced him. And she had mentioned in this other article, I'm going to go back to it if I have it. Damn it. Oh my gosh, I don't have it anymore. Hold on. There was an article, I think this is it. Okay, so this one, it had mentioned, Showbiz article, it had mentioned that they didn't actually know each other. And I was just thinking in my head, just like, well, duh, y'all don't know each other yet. Y'all have only been married for like a year. Y'all still have enough time to get to know each other, right? She had basically mentioned, like, they admitted they married. They weren't fundamentally compatible. Obviously. Like, I'm sorry, but it was really obvious to me that they were not compatible much at all, okay? They don't even seem like they'd be friends. They're like polar opposites of each other. She has a personality. She has to have a good time. You know, she's like organized, but not her closet. Like her closet has a lot of shit, so I can understand why she's not too organized. But you know, she has things in her apartment, the costume, the hot dog and corn costume. She basically, and she has broken tables, all that. He is very organized. He's uptight. He likes clean shit, of course. Like, you know, he doesn't like his stuff to be broken. He likes it top pristine, all that type of shit, right? He likes that, you know. He even makes his own toothpaste. Like, he basically is a different breed than her. Like, legit. If I'm gonna just be dead honest, for real, they're opposites. What is with this season and dating their opposites? Because that's one thing, is they're not even dating, they're marrying the opposites of each other. That's what they're doing. I would say the only relationship that didn't like do the opposites of each other was Mallory and Salvador, but even that's questionable too. So yeah. When she acknowledged that she started changing herself to fit what she thought he wanted and began forgetting about things she enjoyed. That's actually kind of accurate in my opinion of both of them. He wanted her to seem different, if I'm being honest with you, because after how weird he looked at her once she had her hot dog costume on, like, he didn't even have like an awkward smile. He barely, I don't think he even smiled when he saw that shit. He looked more like weirded out, completely like and utterly just like he looked like he was fun to say ew. Like, that's the thing, that's how he looked, right? So it makes me think that, you know, she couldn't be her top tier fun self. Like, she couldn't fully enjoy herself when she was with him because he couldn't enjoy how she was when they were together. Like, he couldn't enjoy that shit, some of her like slight perks and whatnot. He wanted to change her to fit his needs, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to accept them for whatever flaws they have, and then if the flaws are too fucking strong, then y'all come to a common ground on fixing them and working on it together. That's the thing, is like, you know, like within a relationship and whatnot, you talk to each other, you call it out, you have good communication skills, you don't just fucking argue and shit like that. Like, you know, you actually talk to each other like you're adults, like, bro. But yeah, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know why I went to that little rant. But child, anyways, I'm gonna move on to Mallory and Salvador. These are, oh yeah, by the way, these are people I don't like. I moved on to couples, and I did Jared as just by himself first because I love Ayana. So I'm not gonna lump her in with Jared because I don't like Jared. So, and I don't like Nick or Daniel. So it's Danielle. I say Danielle. I'm so sorry. Danielle, Nick and Danielle. I don't like them. So I don't like Mallory and Salvador either. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so this is Mal and Sal. I'm gonna go to the Instagram. I went to her Instagram already. I went to both of their Instagrams yesterday, and I have a lot more to say on it than I thought I would. I'm gonna explain it in a second. Hold on. Now, this is Mallory. Mallory, the one who Jared had chosen for his first option, the one that Jared wanted first, as I can say. Very gorgeous Miss Mama right here. Yes, lady. She's not actually a mother. I'm just saying, like, you know, as Miss Mama, as in, like, your mama, like he'd say daddy anyway. Now, this is Salvador. I'm on his Instagram right now. What's a good picture? Hold on. This is a good picture, I think. This is Salvador, you know. He's the one that Mallory chose over Jared, and they had started a relationship. Now, I'm gonna explain the relationship. I actually did not mind the relationship. I cared for it a little bit more than Nick and Danielle, because Nick and Danielle annoyed the fuck out of me. So Mal and Salvador's relationship, they were called Mal and Sal. Their ship name were Salary, and I actually really liked their ship name, right? So they were good. He sung to her. He's an opera singer, and he likes to do opera, I guess. He's also can play I want to say the guitar, what was that other, I would say ukulele too. I think he could play the ukulele as well. He sung to her. It was so sweet, and how they spoke, it was like they were really nice together. Like, I actually really liked their dynamic together. They just seemed really chill. The issue was with it though, was during the Mexico trip, when Jared had went up to Mallory, Salvador had an issue with that. More so, he was uncomfortable with it. After the Mexico trip, he sat her down, and like when they were living together, he spoke to her about how he was not comfortable with, like, you know, all of what happened. And then I think Mallory tells him what Jared has said, and then like Salvador was just like, why is he commenting about your ring? What does that have to do with him? Like, what was his issue. And then he actually did talk to Jared later on, and it was a cordial conversation. I fast forward through most of it, but because I hate seeing conflict like this, and I love this season's group of people, so that's why I fast forwarded through it. I was just like, I did not want to see any conflict, but it was actually no conflict at all. They had a very reasonable and cordial conversation. The issue was that I think he knew about what they said for the ring. I don't actually think that he knew the full conversation though. So yeah. Then we fast forwarded to him meeting I don't want to say that was her mom. I don't think she said that was her mom. During that one I had basically missed some information, but she was either a very close friend, an aunt, or like a relative, a friend, or like, you know, a mom figure or something like that. But her mom figure was really nice. She was really nice. And she met, I think, his sisters. I think she met his sisters or like parent. I don't recall either of them meeting the parents. I don't think so. So yeah. Now I may be going a little fast for theirs, but theirs flew for me. Like it flew fast. I do remember a beautiful moment when they were out somewhere, and it was, oh my gosh, it was gorgeous. I'm gonna try to find that, like that picture and stuff like that. Like after I say this, he sung to her outside. She met his roommate and they sung together, and she like cried because it was so beautiful to her. And I was just like, this is so nice. Like I'm in love. Like this is romantic and all that. And I really hate when I can't find the pictures that I want to show y'all. But yes, just take my word for it. He had a guitar somewhat. He was like talking to her. Like then he started singing to her. They were outside near a lake and whatnot, where they could see the beautiful trees outside. They were both dressed very gorgeously. It was so fucking cute. Like I can't. It was very gorgeous. I wish I could show you. I don't have Netflix on my phone to show y'all the exact episode, because I would gladly show y'all. Fast forwarding to when they had a tense moment when they were still living together, there was a moment where a woman showed up, and it's a woman that he used to know, and it made everything tense between them, because the lady, as she described it, was like rude or whatnot. It kind of made Mallory on edge because she knew who Salvador was and whatnot. It kind of just disrupted everybody's mood. I think he was out with his sisters and Mallory, and then this woman showed up into their house and then whatnot, was being rude as fuck. I don't know a whole lot about that situation, to be honest. It flew past for me. I was just like, what the hell happened? Like, I was just like, wait, what? And they literally told me what happened. I didn't know. But anyways, now I'm gonna try to go in timeline order, because I've been trying to do that in like other parts just based off of memory. Now in between this, there's something revealed later on, right? So I'm gonna say this before I'm gonna say the wedding, right? Salvador thought Mallory was cheating on him, because Salvador was waiting on Mallory, and for 2 hours he cannot get into contact with her. She had went out with her friends. She was partying. She was in somebody else's car, and it was a guy friend that she knew for a long ass time, right? She was drunk, and one of her bottles fell out, and Salvador didn't know she was out, as he had stated. So yeah, she also stated that yes, she was out. She said that, like, you know, she wasn't out and didn't tell him or whatnot. And so, like, yeah, he thought she was cheating on him. She said that was a longtime friend, and it just so happened to be a guy. I don't believe none of these motherfuckers. I don't believe either of these people, okay? I don't know. It's just weird, you know? I believe he thought that she was cheating on him, and I believe that, you know, that was probably one of her friends, but I don't think she was right for, like, staying out and not really telling him and, like, standing up Salvador. But, like, you know, I also don't think it's right what he does, like, next a little bit to the wedding. He says, he doesn't really say no, he says I cannot, and he's like crying, and I'm about to cry. It was so dramatic, but I loved how it was filmed. No, not him saying no, but how they just all looked. It was like, it was just giving, okay? Mallory has the same look Jared Loki has, not like confused irritation, more like a blank stare type of way. Like, you know, she's wondering why you have a problem with her type of stare, like that kind of like confused ass stare. She looks like she's holding back too. I don't know what's with it with her and Jared being on the same page. We're having not only confused as looks, but also looking like they're holding back a lot. But that's what the fuck they look like a lot of times. And I'm just like, I don't know why they look like that, but they do. Now, she was very upset about like him saying, not only saying no, but them not being able to work it out afterwards too. She was heartbroken. She was kind of like holding in her pain, right? There was a moment where he was sitting on the steps down below, and like she was watching from like I want to say bell tower. I think it's just the top floor from the wedding chapel or whatnot. She stared down at him and she looked so heartbroken. Like she looked like she was hurt as fuck. And he looked like he was hurt too. And I was just like, this is so sad, man. Can y'all be friends? They don't end up being friends. He was holding in the fact that he thought she was cheating for the longest. Like, he does not tell us until life after the altar. He held in for a long ass time. Life after the altar takes place a year after everything fucking happened, right? So yeah, during the reunion they talked for like a tiny bit. They didn't really say much that's memorable to me. Anyways, fast forward to life after the altar. Now this is setting up for Natalie's birthday, and when I tell you, Mal is not okay. Mallory looks like she's been going through a tough time. She looks like one of her relatives had just passed away. Like, she looks like a lot of shit was occurring in her fucking life. I don't think one of her relatives passed away. She would have mentioned if they did, and she probably wouldn't have been on this life after the show. Like, she wouldn't have if something like that heartbreaking happened to her. So yes, anyways, she looks even more resigned and distant when she was meeting up with the girls in that club scene, and they were asking her how she is, and she was just like, I'm okay, I'm fine. She mentioned she went through therapy, and she's still going, I think. Just a lot of that. She looks like she's holding back even more. Like, she looks like she's in her head a lot. She just looks upset. She has even more of a blank stare, and it's not even confused blank stare anymore. It's more blank now. And I'm just like, that hurts to see. That actually hurts to see. Then we fast forward to like when it was about to be Natalie's party, but it's not Natalie's party yet. So the night before, Salvador shows up with another girl, right? Someone who is not part of this cast. Someone we don't really care for. Like, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I was just like, I don't know who this is. I was just like that. She was rather nice though. She was rather nice. She was the life of the party. She was actually a little bit annoying, if I'll be honest with you. I was just like, I don't want to see Salvador and shit. I don't want to see her either. Like, but I understood he's part of the cast too. Like, we have to see him, and it's okay. He's not really a fucking villain for saying no to her. He's not a villain. Like, because there's other people who said no to, like, their significant others as well when they were about to marry. They're not villains. He's not a villain for saying no to her. No, not at all. What irritated me was what he was doing during the, like, with her and him, they were over the fucking top, if I'm gonna just be honest with you. Loud as shit, smiling, being all like that, all up on each other, right? More than Jared and Iyanna. And they were all up on each other a little bit too, like, very comfortable. He put out her wedgie for her, like, that's very comfortable. I actually laughed. I was just like, what the fuck? That's what Jared and Iyanna did. But Jessie and Salvador, that's her name, Jessica, they were all up on each other. It was actually annoying the fuck out of me. I was just like, yeah. And stuff like that. Nick and Danielle are not all up on each other like this. Deepti and Kyle, who were very, like, middle school crush type, like, weren't all up on each other, like, talking with. So why are y'all? Like, what the fuck? But anyways, Mallory looked even more resigned. Mallory actually had that anxiety face, and I know how that looks, and it hurts to see it, and it made me want to cry. It actually triggered me a bit how this shit was occurring, because that made me uncomfortable. It reminded me of events I had to go through with, like, having a friend or having friends who also just so happened to know that, like, one friend that I was still not comfortable with. And then also that moment where you don't realize that you're not comfortable with that person yet completely to be around them until they're around. So I don't think Mallory realized she was going to be that uncomfortable around Salvador until she actually got to be around him again, because I don't think they, like, talked very much at all after what had happened. But child, anyways, yeah, so they, like, were on the wagon to go wine tasting. They were getting to know her. The other friends were asking a lot about Jessica and Salvador, and Mallory was, like, very resigned. She didn't ask any questions. She didn't really want to. And she had made a valid point to where she was just like, she doesn't really need to know about her ex-fiance's new girlfriend. Like, she doesn't need to know about that. Like, it's not really that big of a priority for her. She didn't say it at the event. She said it in, like, the stalls, confessional, whatnot, that she didn't really need to know all about her ex-fiance's new girlfriend. So we fast forward to Natalie's party. When I tell you, Mallory was actually having a good time with her friends. She was keeping her distance. Salvador was all about the fact that Mallory was keeping her distance and that it was quote unquote uncomfortable. And yeah, it's uncomfortable and whatnot. or awkward. But the thing is, you realize that the only one who's truly awkward right now is Mallory, right? Mallory was the one who's mainly fucking awkward, right? And Salvador could not let this fucking thing go. So he was thinking just like, I know at some point I have to talk to Mallory. Why the fuck didn't you talk to her before this then? Damn, act like adults. Why didn't you talk to her before this? Why didn't you call her away before the party? Why did you choose to talk to her during the damn party? Why didn't you talk to her the time beforehand? Why did your girlfriend talk to her? No, I'm sorry. I'm going the fuck off because I'm annoyed by that. Because what they did at the party was annoying as fuck. Salvador went up to talk to her, but he didn't like go to a separate room to talk in like another room to her privately. No, he talked to her at the party. He said something short. Then Jessica wants to come up to her and say some shit, and it wasn't all that rude until she was just like, oh yeah, well, I didn't worry about you at all. Trust me. Why the fuck did you say that shit? Why did you thought that was cool to say at all? Who cares about your opinion when it comes to that? It's between Mallory and Salvador. Salvador is the one with the issue with Mallory, and Mallory is the one with the issue too. This has nothing to do with you. None of the friends over there were all the way in their fucking relationship and was interrupting Salvador to go talk to him. No, you didn't need to do that. And then Salvador congratulates Jessica for being like, oh yeah, it's really strong that you actually talked to her. Mallory does not need to talk to Jessica. Mallory didn't even need to talk to Salvador either. Salvador was the one who go up to her and talk to her. Mallory was not fun to go to Salvador and speak at all, because it didn't help the situation. It made it even more awkward. They did not help at all. Like, that's what irritated the fuck out of me. I was just like, and you waited till Natalie's actual party to talk to her. You've been there a day prior. You could have actually pulled her aside and talked to her. They had enough time. It was so annoying. I'm sorry. I went on a fucking rant about that, but it was so annoying to see. And I see why so many people had an issue with it, because they had a right to have an issue with it. They didn't have a right to bully them though, because on their Instagram, I'm gonna show you their Instagram. Hold on. So in their Instagram post, he shares how it's very they were nervous about filming. It's been very awkward, whatnot. So yeah, so there's another couple, Shayna and her Greek dude that she was with. She also had him on the show too. And the thing about it is, it was awkward because Shayna and Natalie had some friction and whatnot. But Shayna didn't go up to Natalie and speak to her, which was I wish she kind of had. But how Shayna is, I don't like Shayna. She's going to be in the category to where I hate her. So that's going to be another video. I don't actually have resentment to these people at all. I don't know them, so I'm not talking about I actually full on blow and hate them, wish that their generation stops. I don't fucking mean that. But anyway, yeah, so he mentions how people were coming for them and how he hates how much hate he get, which I understand. I understand why he's upset, because in his eyes, Mallory had cheated on him before their wedding, and he was very upset about that. He probably let Jessie know, and that's why she went up to him, but she had no right to went up to Mallory. She had no right to do that shit though. That was fucking annoying to see. I did not want her to do that shit at all. Trying to clear the air. They didn't clear the air. It made the air worse. Because why did you even say that little snide-ass comment where it's just like, oh yeah, I wasn't worried about you at all. Trust me. Well, first of all, that sounds like a person who was worried about her. Because if you really were not worried about her at all, you would not have gone to talk to her. Or you wouldn't have said that shit. You were worried about her, honey. It's giving trying too damn hard for me. That's the thing. That's the thing. And there's a lot of comments. I say bullying because there was this fuck ton of comments saying basically the same thing, where it's just why did you force or go up to her? And he never addresses these comments. I don't think he addressed even one of these comments where they were mentioning why he even went up to Mallory and why his girlfriend felt the need to speak to her. I honestly may think that the producers may have told him to do that. Now, he should come out and say, the producers told me to fucking do that. He should come out and say that, but he hasn't. So I'm just going to assume that he went up there on his own accord to talk to her. He wanted to settle it as adults. Why didn't you settle it prior to all this shit happening? You knew you were going to be there. You knew you were going to see Mallory. You should have just talked to her prior to this. It was awkward as fuck. You should have just went to another room with her to talk to her in private without your girlfriend being there, without your girlfriend feeling the need to go up and talk. It's not her place to talk, talking with. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Just a whole bunch. I mean, come on, Sal. Do you think it was appropriate for her to say what she said to Mallory? Was it appropriate for her to interrupt? No, literally. But no, he did think it was appropriate because he congratulated her ass. Mallory is the villain in his eyes, so he'll never see the viewer's POV. This person is fucking correct. You're completely and utterly correct. Mallory is the villain in his eyes. Mallory is the one who cheated in his eyes before their wedding. Mallory is the one who he, quote unquote, had to protect Like, you know, he kept the truth in, which irritates me because it makes me think, why didn't you just straight up say it before then? You didn't have to protect her. You didn't have to protect her. Why did you protect her? None of the other couples protected her. I mean, not protected her. I meant none of the other couples, when they had an issue with each other, they didn't protect each other. They didn't. Why did you feel the need to? Like, that's the thing is, if she cheated on you the night before, dude, say something. Don't just keep it in and then have us wondering why you're being mean to her. Like, dude, that was the issue. That's why people had an issue. Because if you had said something prior, like, come on, man. Even Natalie had basically told the viewers and everybody what Shane had said to her. And it was very hard for her to say it, but she said it. She told the truth. Why didn't you? Why didn't you, man? Like, come on now. Why didn't you say it? But yes, anyways, yeah, I don't like the relationship. I don't. I didn't like the relationship after that. I was just like, damn. But I liked it beforehand. It was very magical to me. His and Jessica's relationship, you know, I'm glad that they left Jessica and him alone. I did not like seeing them so oftenly when it was on Life After the Altar. It was just hammered in my face. I hate couples who hammer shit in your face. Stop fucking showing up everywhere, being all up on each other and kissing all up on each other. It's like, ew, no one wants to see this shit. If the married couples aren't doing this shit, why are y'all? Like, I cannot. I'm sorry, I just cannot. Hell, even Deepti and Kyle were like, you know, they weren't really girlfriend and boyfriend yet, but they were basically mentioning how they were like, you know, together, all that, and they were talking to each other damn near every single day. But it's like they weren't all up on each other. They were smiley and talking to each other and some shit like that. Yeah, they were like a little bit flirting and whatnot, but Jessica and they were doing it so much, and I was like, I can't stand seeing this shit. I'm sorry, I really cannot stand seeing this shit. But yeah, for all the viewers, yeah, don't go on their Instagram and hate if y'all have seen it or not. I went on there just to see if there were comments about it, and the sheer amount of comments that were on there was like, it was haunting. It was actually fucking terrifying. So I'm just thinking like, yeah, they need to chill the fuck out. Like, they need to chill out. Like, come on now. But I did have a lot to say about that. Anyways, that's gonna conclude my video for today. You know, like and subscribe, please, or give me your opinion in the comment section down below. Like, you know, how do you feel about the people I mentioned? Do you disagree? Do you agree? You know, like, how are your thoughts on the whole thing? Did you watch the show already? If you have not, does this make you want to watch season 2? Because I don't know. Please watch it still. There are some really good moments in there. If you do feel the need or feel like watching it, there are some really good moments that will make you think like, I actually really like these people. Because I actually do like these people. That Mexico trip moment was nice. They only had a problem when it was just their individual like selves with their significant other. But when they were all together, it was really nice to see. Like, I love camaraderie like that. It's really nice. But child, anyways, I say that a lot. Oh my gosh. This is all. And may peace be with you for an eternity.